Hello, boys. How you doing? I've been in the lab cooking up something spicy for you. This is going to be an Immortal King Sorceress. Yes, we are using the Immortal King set on the Sorceress with a dream on top. Okay, I'm going to talk about why, I'm going to talk about how this works, talk about the strengths, talk about the weaknesses, and then show you how this thing kind of slaps, because it does slap, literally. We are slapping a massive brick down on boys, and it's kind of fun. Stat skills, gear, and then we'll bloody dive into it. Hey, boys? So, Immortal Sorc, that's my boy. We're getting a main chunk of damage, which is amped by one single dual dream. We have high physical damage and decent elemental damage, which is amped up from, Ogre Maul, from the IK set. We'll go over that further in a second. Strength is obviously very high. So what we've done on all of these bits of gear, as you can see, with the base of all of them, we've upped them. So, Myrmidon Greaves, we don't usually get Immortal King's Pillar at that base. It's usually exceptional. Now we've upped it to elite. We've upgraded everything. Colossus Girdle, Ogre Gauntlets. The hammer is always at Ogre Maul. That's fine. That's elite. But everything is the highest elite base we can get with the highest defense possible. Dream base, we have made it in the Corona for that exact reason. High defense, because that's what I want. Okay? That's what I want, boys. Don't question me. Dexterity, decent, 170. Vitality, a tiny bit. I've leaned into energy as our main source. I know, maybe some of you are saying, okay, you could definitely build this towards maxing vitality and ignoring energy shield, but I found that it works quite well relying on energy shield because we have a big slapper like this. Our physical damage is quite high, so when we do hit, we have enough sufficient mana steal that we can actually maintain quite well and return a lot of that investment. Skills. For cold spells, we have points all the way down into chilling armor. We had 16 in here. Now, I could respec and put a few more points in here, that's fine. If you want to go further into amping up chilling armor, go for it. I only have this for the plus defense. I don't have it for the cold damage. Now, I've tried to spec this towards maxing the cold damage and maxing all the synergies for it, but it has so many fucking synergies, it is annoying. They need to compress this, because no one's ever going to do this. I mean, I might do it in another build, because I'm the type of person who would do the dumb shit, obviously, but it's not going to be for this build. Now, chilling armor, only for the defense, not for the cold damage. 1 into cold mastery, because why the fuck not? I don't know, okay? Lightning spells is everything else. We've got 1 into static field, enough plus skills where we have decent radius anyway when we need. You know, we can chuck down a few static fields before we hop in and start smacking the elite pack, because obviously, using this big block of cheese boys, we have single target, okay? So we're a bit limited in terms of AoE. Now, everything else, maxing lightning mastery, because that amps up the holy shock damage, which we are getting from our dream, okay? That's where we're picking up the single target coverage. Now, rest of the skills, we have Energy Shield, Telekinesis, which is maxed out for, obviously, Energy Shield reasons. Okay, that's going to go down and deplete first before our life. Fire spells. We have Enchant maxed out, 1 into Fire Mastery. That gives us enough attack rating sufficient for single target, and then I'm happy to move on and talk about the gear. Now, what's really cool about this Maul is with 2 shales in here, we can easily cap out our attack per second, boys. So we're slapping at a decent attack speed. Now, everything else, it has decent, very decent physical damage, okay, very high average, but it has cold damage, it has 477 lightning damage, which is pretty high, and 400 fire damage, with attack rating on the set bonus. Very nice. Fire damage and lightning damage both gets amped by our fire masteries. Fire mastery obviously being very low, I don't care. Now, lightning is our main one, so 386%. So that increases quite significantly with 477. Obviously, the main chunk of our damage is coming from our dream for our single target, but if we take that off, we can see just by itself is 4,500 with the Maul just alone. And that's nothing to really sniff at, boys. That's pretty decent. The rest of our gear. We have a 220 amulet. I know it's ridiculous, okay? This is all placeholder shit for Hero Editor, so go fucking jack off in the corner and bitch at me again. I don't care. Fuck you. Leave a hateful comment. IK set. We've all maxed out. Sacred Armor. We have a socketed Cham in here because I need 2 rings with 10 FCR. That gives me 20 FCR. That's sufficient for a decent breakpoint, so we can tally around, okay? That's our borderline. Nothing less. fuck that shit. The rings, we do need mana steal, as well as our IK does give us 10% mana steal too. So when we're hitting, boys, we need to be getting mana back. That is the aim of this, okay? There's the IK boots again, with a decent set bonus. Now the rest down here, we have all res life, a little bit of hit recovery and lightning to meet a breakpoint. Light skillers, life, sunder. Mercenary is blessed aim for attack rating, with infinity fortitude, and my crown of thieves, because I can't remember where I put my Andes. I was testing something else. Now, let's hop on over to somewhere and show you how this kind of works. This is kind of fun. I find it very entertaining when slapping a massive stick with a brick on a sorceress. It's so great. I need to make more stuff like this. I need to make some type of Thundermaw, bloody, I don't know, maybe I need to make like a Fury. I need to make more dumb shit, boys. This is too fun, okay? So, on Switch, we've got our CTA War stuff. I'm going to buff up Chilling Armor, Energy Shield. I've got my enchant. Pop that up. Chilling Armor. Boom. I'm good to go. So, stats before we zip around and start smacking shit. Attack rating is still a bit average. 5166. We are yet to have Blessed Aim from the Mercenary. Res is not capped out, but we do have our Energy Shield depleting first, so we're kind of fine to run ahead. Now, let's go in. How entertaining is that? It's so satisfying. Teleporting around, slapping boys, and they just disappear. With a massive stick with a brick. Brick with a stick, boys. This is the life. You've all been playing Sorceress wrong. This is what you need to do. Save your IK set. Save all your fucking limb runes, okay? Upgrade your set. Max out your strength and respec your sorceress. Absolutely brick your character. And then teleport around in pub games. And just slap random shit until people ask you what the fuck you're doing with your life. And that's where you plug my channel. Makes sense, doesn't it? This is basically the gameplay for the build. Everything that is single target, we don't have any type of spell to cast in our main hand. We just teleport around and kind of slap. Now, the assisting skills that we have is we obviously have Chilling Armor, so increases defense, obviously, discharges an ice belt to retaliate against ranged attackers. So, when we're amongst a heap of boys slapping about and going crazy, the ranged bozos can get a little, ice bolt thrown their way. It's kind of helpful, even if the ice bolt is not necessarily going to make it all the way to the edge of the screen and hit the ranged bozos, it's still going to freeze everything around you, since the ice bolt doesn't actually pierce, okay? Other than that, teleporting in, we do have access to static, as every single sorceress does, which is so satisfying. So we can hop over here, static a couple of times just to reduce the health pool a little bit of the surrounding mobs, and then we can kind of move on. Keep an eye on Energy Shield that doesn't deplete as well. And we get our Battle Orders back up, and I'm going to work my way towards Bale, because I feel like it, boys. I'm feeling confident. Let me tally through level 3. I don't want to bother with that. Aha, here we go. Safety TP, because I don't trust myself. Good, good, very good. I feel like I'm more likely to actually use the full IK set on a fucking sorceress than I am on a barbarian, which is kind of funny. Oh, it's so amusing. If you want to go down the more fire damage route, you definitely can with this. Change out the helm. Instead of a dream, you can go flickering flame, more fire skills, and then lean more into fire mastery instead of into lightning mastery. That's definitely an option as well. I do like the lightning coverage though, and since this build is very single target and I'm teleporting in like this, you can see right here just how useful the Confuse mod is on the Dream Helm. And that, I just didn't want to pass up and go for something like a Flickering Flame. Ooh, look at those tasty rejuves, boys. I'll save those. Beautiful. Slap, slap. Slap, slap. Damage is 21k. Blessed aim is now up on the mercenary, so our attack rating is over 10k, which is beautiful. Prior, we're only about, 5k. It's nothing crazy, nothing, room for improvement, let's say. Much better now. Oh, beautiful, boys. Slap them. Bing, bing. Oh. Just look at the brick. The stick with the brick, boys. Who would have thought the stick with the brick is the best Sorceress build in 2023? Incredible. More FCR would be helpful for FCR, but, we just try and avoid putting ourselves in situations where there is more mobs and more density, because we're not there for that. We're here for low density, antics, and more brick with a stick. Action, boys. Okay? This is why you subscribe. Alright, CTA, rebuff. Let's finish off this shit. Let's slap Bale all the way through. Don't forget about Crushing Blow as well. We do have 40% on that. Mana Steal is gross. He's knocking us back quite well, isn't he? Oh, there we go. He's fucked now. Attack rating on Bale, if you're curious, boys, still over 10k, 78%, and we literally shattered him. Easy as that. Immortal Queen, Sorceress. There you go. That might be the title. I'll come up with a tasty thumbnail. Maybe. There we go, boys. If you find the OK set, who cares about your Barbarian? Who cares about the Druid, okay, on some weird little hybrid build? Save it for the Sorceress. Respec your Blizzsort. Tell your mum. Tell your dad. Punch out your strength to 164, upgrade your full set, get Murmured on Greaves for fuck's sake, okay? This is where we need to be. This is how we push this game into the mainstream. What am I talking about?